Okay, I want to record this with the youth or any development level coach in mind. And that even means the NHL. But if you're a youth coach watching this, a junior hockey coach watching this, and your job is to develop players, there's something to be said about what's going on with the dichotomy of winning versus player development and what comes first and whatever. But if you look at this from a strict player development lens and principles of play and teaching your players that, then this is going to be a little bit different flavor than what you might used to be hearing, which is fine. So we'll play this clip at half speed, and then we're going to talk about it, obviously. Show it to you again. Okay. So my first question is, what do you see regardless of the result? So we've been in this Principles of Play series, and if you're watching this on YouTube, I can link what you've been missing in the newsletter. But if we back this up to the beginning, 16 and white, it's not a perfect, what I call a get, but it's pretty close to what a get does for you. And this puck comes up to the point, and Mitch Marner goes and gets or follows his pass. And what that does is a few things as we move it forward. Forward comes out to play his primary check, which is the defenseman. Forward's coming out to play his primary check 8, which is a defenseman. And then Detroit has to figure out which player, center, low forward, is going to come out and defend Mitch Marner. And right now, upon receiving this puck, Mitch can walk into the space and play at 0 degrees and put his check on an island. What he does do, which also isn't a bad play, is skate to the right, which moves his check further and further away from the slot, high danger ice. He's pulling him away from that area. And then what I just think we see too often, and I don't know if it's analytics based or what, but this is a 2-on-2 at the net, and sure, there's traffic and blah, blah, blah. But shooting from 60 feet away from the net, to me, this is a hope play. And somebody famous once said hope isn't a strategy. So, what we can do, Mitch, when we back this up, again, upon receiving this puck, he has half of a zone, 20 or 30 feet, that he can take space here if he wants to. That's one option. But if you have 20 or 30 feet on your check, that's an advantage situation. This is what Alex Cerama calls dominoes, which is this get or this get type movement where Mitch comes high in the zone and gets away from and separation from his check. Getting this puck puts him in an advantage. He has space right now. And with a space advantage, you can further compound that to the net to try and get a space and numbers advantage to try and get into the slot open and just continue to try and compound your advantage till you have a better shot selection and better chances of the puck going in the net. So what can happen here? Again, Mitch can come down, doesn't do that. He drifts over, which pulls this guy further and further away. I believe 8 is Tanev. 8 white can switch with him here. And the speed differential that Tanev would create if he gets on his horse here, as this player's pulling, bringing two Detroit players together. Tanev can get into this NHL shop logo and start to attack downhill, which is then going to pull somebody to him, and then somebody can pop to space. When you have a numbers advantage in the slot, one of these players can pop, hopefully onto their one-time side or backdoor for a tap-in. And you're getting a shot closer to the net off of a pass and probably open. So you're improving your shot quality by using dominoes and playing with a little bit more. I wouldn't even call it risk at this point because Mitch still has 15 or 20 feet. But we don't do anything in white to break down the defense. This is a 5-on-5 straight up look. Little wrister to the net, tip, and it goes in. But if you're a youth coach, if you're a junior hockey coach, and you're not trying to strictly win games and take all the risk out of your game, you have to ask your players to do more. This is your first, this get movement that Mitch does is your first trigger. That trigger gets the offensive team into dominoes, and now it's time to drop defenders and compound it. So this player gets pulled further outside. This player's already lost outside. At the point that Mitch can drop this puck to Tanev, these players are almost running into each other. Mitch can run a pick on who's ever more free trying to read it, whether that's on 11 or that's on this player here in the middle. Mitch can run a pick after he drops this, get Tanev into the slot area. And then once he's in here, he's either going to draw this player to him, this player to him, or this player to him. And whoever moves, somebody in white should pop to space, whether that's this player coming across to here, whether that's this player spinning off into dangerous ice, this player pulling. But this should be a dominoes numbers advantage situation in more dangerous ice. And instead it's a hope play to the net. And you can say, and you can result all you want, and you can say, well, the puck went in, Drew. Yeah, sure, the puck went in. But that's resulting. And instead of doing that, we can actually develop players and encourage our players to improve their shot selection by using triggers like gets, like switches, like picks to get into more dangerous ice and to shoot pucks from the slot.